fourth time.
You know what? Fourth time's a charm. Not a third anymore, it's fourth. Let's just get straight into it. Hello everybody, welcome to the Rated Podcast. This is where we speak about things music, usually, and entertainment and popular culture. Today we're bringing you our new segment, things we've watched, or the Rated Watchlist, or whatever it's called. I can't keep up, there's too many things. Last week we brought you a review of episode 1 and 2 of X-Men 97. And this week we're going to bring you a review, or like our thoughts of episodes 3 and 4. We're probably going to do this until like the season finishes, because I think there's going to be like 10 episodes or something.
Yeah, we'll just do like 2.
Yeah, 2 and 2. So we're going to start with episode 3. So the end of episode 2 gave us the whole second Jean storyline. There was like a clone of Jean, and we couldn't tell which one was, or who was the real one or whatever. So then episode 3 was pretty much just based on that. What are your thoughts on episode 3?
Yeah, so I thought it was like juicy. It was good, like in the sense that it was a bit of action, and it introduced another character. So, like you said, there were 2 Jeans. The one who fainted at the door, of course, is the original Jean, because
she's always fainting.
What's Jean without fainting? So I just love how the like Marvel like fanverse was just like, yeah, that's the real Jean. As soon as she fainted, just like that's her. The internet is undefeated always. So yeah, she's the real Jean. The other one we find out in the episode of the clone. Mr. Sinister made, because he basically wanted Cyclops and Jean to have a baby, because it's the story from the comics, but basically if they had a child, the child would be super powerful and stuff. The child grows up to be Cable and then also the universe. So the new Jean is not Jean. She goes by the name now, Madeline Pryor or whatever.
The Goblin Queen or something.
Yeah, Goblin Queen, yeah, Madeline Pryor.
I was like, why is she, what goblins is she the queen of?
I don't really know like where that came from. I thought it was like a comic book like reference and reason for the name.
It didn't really explain it, which is like,
but it was a bit like random, and the transformation was giving me Sailor Moon as well. Like,
oh yeah, it's true.
I was just like, where did her clothes just magically come out?
Honestly, I was confused. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit anime and inspired, clearly, but yeah. So it was a good episode, I think. I just felt like it was a bit. So I guess in going back to the beginning, I think it was a bit out of order when, like, obviously the old Jeans come back, and then Beast does his science stuff, and he basically confirms that the Jean that they thought was the real Jean was a clone. And I feel like they kind of just abandoned her essentially in that moment. I feel like it was just unfair. I felt like for her, because she's obviously not knowing that she's been swapped in by Mr. Sinister, who's introduced in the episode. So it's not really her fault that she, had unfortunately been cloned and whatnot. She wasn't even aware that she was a clone, obviously until this moment in time. And it kind of feels like they would just abandon her. Cyclops has also just kind of like stopped supporting her. Like usually, as we discussed in the previous episodes, he bends to her will most of the time. Anything Jean says, like she was planning for them to kind of like leave the X-Men, leave the team, and he was like leaning towards that as well. So I feel like if this hadn't happened, they probably would have left the team, and it would have just been like, oh, he's gone. So yeah. So I say this all to say that they kind of was like, or just like, oh well, this is not our Jean. So they kind of just all. She was talking and saying, I fought with you, like sacrificed my life with you guys, and this and that, and whatever with her memories. And nobody said anything. Not even Jubilee and her.
Yeah. I was surprised that Cyclops didn't like it wasn't behind her or like behind her back or whatever, because like you said, normally he's just like whatever she does, she can do no wrong. So yeah, I was surprised that they all abandoned her, to be fair. But then I guess they were like scared or whatever. You know what? I'm not the biggest fan of Jean. So when like a whole episode is about Jean, I'm just like, that's why I didn't really enjoy episode 3 because of that reason. Like everything was just about her. And yeah, she's not my favorite character, but it was good to see. I think it was good to see how obviously you said their son becomes Cable in another dimension or whatever, other universe.
Yeah,
so it's good to see kind of that origin story, because you see him going to the portal at the end and whatever. But I feel like the whole episode was just weird, because I feel like it ended so abruptly. Like all of a sudden the clone and the original Jean were just like friends. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't like much time for conflict and for like beef.
mm,
It just felt like one episode. So I don't know. Maybe obviously an episode like spans over the course of a day, but we have like 30 minutes, so they've got to make it like work very quickly for us. And sometimes I guess that's not going to translate very well because like, this is why it's good like that. I don't know, like so comparing this to like the old one, there was obviously seasons, and then when you have like 5 seasons of a show, you can actually use episodes to explore like different scenarios and different arcs and stuff. So this could have been like a whole thing they explored like over a period of episodes. But we've got 10, so they kind of just got to like make it snappy. Like
yeah, but
they're
they really
beefing in the
did.
morning, by evening they're fine. Like
That's what happened though. Literally, all of a sudden, it was just like they were friends, and then they put the baby in the portal, and then that was it.
literally.
So what
So
happened? Just, it didn't really explain like what this clone did for all this time and blah blah blah. Like I know the reason for the clone, whatever, but it just happened so like quickly.
yeah,
What's the villain's name? Sinister or whatever.
yeah, sinister,
Yeah.
Mr.
So they didn't
Sinister.
really explain who he was or whatever.
Yeah, we just didn't really get like a backstory into him. So I know that like some people, if you watch the old X-Men, you will know of him. And basically, he experiments on mutants. Um, he likes to clone mutants. He does a lot of effed up things to people, and he messed with Morph like in the old X-Men. So that's why Morph was like a different person. He came back. I don't know if you remember. He came back during the first episode of X Men, like one of the first episodes of the original series. He went on a mission and Morph got attacked by a Sentinel. Then they left him behind, and they thought
Mhm.
he was dead because he got shot by a Sentinel. But he didn't actually die because Sinister took him in and like kind of basically like transformed him into something else. So yeah, so Sinister basically experiments on mutants and other people and gives them powers. He
Yeah,
combines like animals with people and makes
weird.
races essentially.
You know,
Yeah,
the episode's actually like it started off so good with the whole like the X-Men like shunning Jean out, and then the Sinister come in, and then they're all like Morph sees him, and then he gets frightened, and then all like the it's like the dimensions, it's like the whole house gets like interrupted, and I feel like it started off so good, and then I think where it went downhill was just I don't know, it didn't really explain much, and then there was not, like you said, there was not a time for any like conflict or anything. So it was like we got a bit of conflict between the two genes, but then it like honestly literally lasted like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden they were like friends, and then they stopped Sinister, and then they basically just put the baby in the portal, and then that was it. And I feel like it was just for me, it kind of just felt like a waste of an episode in a sense.
yeah. I think they could have probably talked a bit more to be fair. And just so like more, I don't know, spoiler backstory. So Sinister basically tried to enhance their son Nathan's powers in some machine thing, but because I believe they broke the machine open, I think it was one of the genes, whoever did, it kind of caused them to kind of get a virus, and
Yeah,
so it was. Kate, no, Bishop is originally from the future, and apparently Beast has been trying to work on getting his time transportation gear back working. So magically, he happens to fix it in the one space of a day, or how many hours, so that Bishop can take Nathan to the future. Nathan becomes Cable, and it kind of makes a bit more sense now why he ends up becoming who he is in the future, because he kind of looks like it's like a sort of Bishop kind of character in the future. If that
yeah.
makes sense. So yeah, very futuristic. But just wanted to circle back to the point in the story when when like it was Morph, I think Wolverine and Gambit were going to the danger room, and then
Mm-hmm.
Morph was like pressing to see who's scheduled for the danger room,
That's
and,
schedule.
and it was like Rogan Magneto for like every period of time, for like it's like a couple of days. It was like 4 to 6 Rogan Magneto, 6 to 8 Rogan Magneto. The next day 2 to 4, and then he was basically teasing. Um, he said to Gambit, "Oh, they're working on their stamina, Rogan Magneto." And Gambit was sweating.
He was
They went to go
fuming.
find Rogue. He was absolutely fuming. So it's like I think he's definitely aware of the fact that Rogue and Magneto are probably messing around. But at the same time, I feel like he knows that he can't give her what she needs, unfortunately, because if he touches him, she can probably kill him. Whereas Magneto can give her the connection she needs, that humans want to seek. So it's
Yeah,
kind of interesting how they will develop this storyline going forward, I
but
think.
they haven't really like the show itself hasn't really like delved into Rogue and Magneto's relationship, so we still don't really know what it is or like
Yeah,
what exactly they're doing or like how long it's been going on for and stuff. So I hope
yeah,
that they kind of give us a bit more information for that, because I think I don't want to I don't want it to be just be like teased with, and then we don't really know what's going on. So
yeah.
yeah, man.
I don't really. That's the thing. Like, I don't really understand like where they're gonna go with that. But I think there's episode. Well, I feel like they should focus on like at least a couple of characters each episode. So we had episode one was kind of general. Episode two was quite general as well. I think Western included. And then episode three was more so like Jean and Cyclops C kind of relationship. Madeline, Goblin Queen, we're going to call her. And then episode four was
The one that you don't
what
like.
was.
Well, we might as well go
I
on to it
just
now. So
yeah. So episode. Oh, you want to go? Yeah, go ahead.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, so the premise basically of episode 4 is Jubilee, and what's that guy's name?
Um, Roberto, aka
Roberto, who are kind of, I guess they like each other or got a crush on each other or whatever. And then they get stuck into a video game which is made by, I can't remember names. What's that guy's name?
Mojo.
Mojo. Yeah, he's what I don't even remember him. Is he from like the original?
Yeah, so he's on the original one. So basically, like there was like random episodes from the original one when he would like suck the X-Men into like his universe and then put them on like a TV show game thing. So he did the
Oh,
same thing previously, but I don't think Jubilee wasn't included in this like years ago in the old one. It was just like the main small
okay.
team.
So now
Yeah,
he's gone to video games and he traps Jubilee and Roberto in there. And then I feel like Jubilee kind of enjoyed it because she's like, it kind of made she got the impression that she kind of likes she doesn't really like to like she likes to like cheat life, if that makes sense. So she doesn't really like to go, like she likes like games and like cheat codes and stuff. And then so she's really enjoying it. But then future her comes along and tells her that, you know, she needs to enjoy life more and blah blah blah. I don't know why I actually liked the whole premise of them being stuck in a video game, but I think they could have done it a little bit better.
I just think
In a
episodes
way,
like this are just like fillers.
they are
But
fillers. Yeah, I would
they
have
have
actually
10 episodes.
I would prefer to see, because this is actually what I thought was weird. Have we ever had an episode before where it's like 1 and 2? I know you've had like the premiere, like the Night of the Sentinels, part 1 and
Mhm.
2. But that was actually literally part 1 and 2. But I don't think we've ever had like a part 1 and 2 in the same episode. Like it's the same
Yeah,
episode, because we had the Jubilee storyline, then we had the Storm storyline. So I thought that was a bit
towards the
weird.
end.
And
That's true, actually. Yeah.
I was thinking I would have actually preferred just a full episode on Storm and getting her
Storm.
powers back.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do agree with you in that sense. Like the Jubilee bit was a bit like, is this adding to the story? Or the only thing it did was kind of confirm her and Roberto's like relationship, I guess. But then, do we really care about that?
That's the
I don't.
thing. I just feel like when it comes to Jubilee, they always like want to incorporate her in some weird way. It's never like as part of the storyline in terms of fighting or helping them do something productive. It's
Mhm.
always some side mission. Like she's actually a side
Yeah,
quest character.
it's true.
I'm
She
sick
is.
of it. Like even use her for her full potential, or just don't include her at all. Leave her at home and let her babysit. What do you call it? Roberto, because it's just I don't know. I feel like because she's a teenager, they don't want to put her in danger. She's
Mm,
18 now, so this for all coincides with her 18th birthday or whatever. But I mean, now she's an adult legally. I mean, well, in the UK, I don't know in America, maybe in some states, but I don't think she can hold into it technically. Anyway, another story for another day. But yeah, I just don't like know why they do that with her. So I want them to either use her to her full potential or just let her be a background character like they normally do. Because a whole episode or half episode dedicated to her in a game, Roberta, I could have skipped. Skip.
yeah, we didn't really need it, to be fair. I think I liked the
Yeah.
idea. I like the idea of being trapped in a game because I think that's kind of cool. But then, yeah, I think if it was different characters, maybe I would have liked it a bit more.
Yeah.
Because honestly don't care about Jubilee and Roberto's relationship. I
Yeah,
really
I
don't.
don't like. They've hinted that they like there's a bit of flirtation and stuff going
Hmm.
on with them, so it's fine. But like back in again the '90s, original X-Men, they did this episode with like um with Cyclops and Wolverine and Beast and Jean or Rogue and Storm, whoever. So they've done this before. Gambit, they've done this before. So if it was with the whole cast, then it would be more of an interaction.
Yeah,
But I hate when they like have a main character when they have like a character cast of like 8+ people and they focus on like two only or like one. I'm kind of just a bit like you've got an ensemble cast, so you should make the most of it.
yeah, I get that.
And then yeah. Um, moving into the second part, like you said, so this part's about Storm getting her powers back. and that she meets Forge. And Forge is like his power is like he can I think he can make anything like what is his power? Something about like making stuff. So he's like good at putting stuff together. And he can put together anything pretty much or build anything, something like that. So he basically what do you call it? Telling Storm that he's trying to figure out how to get back powers back and whatever and whatnot. Um, and they discuss kind of getting their powers back and whatnot. So yeah, I just thought we could have got this as a whole episode and not. It would have been like a bit less rushed if they just focused on this for the whole 30 minutes as opposed to anything else than that. But what did you think of the episode? Like this part of the episode, I should say.
I thought it was good. It's nice. It's like it was very, very much calm. There's no like action or anything. But I think it was nice because Storm is one of my favorite characters, so it's nice to get to see
Mm-hmm.
her a lot more. Um, and so basically, she finds out that Forge pretty much sold like weapons, or he helped build the weapons to like bring down
The
the
power was all.
mutants and take away her powers. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was like the most interesting bit of the episode, but then that was literally at the end. So it was just like she ran away and then she got captured by someone. I can't remember who she got captured by. Didn't she get captured at the end by someone or something?
Yeah, so they mentioned.
Some
I think the
dimension.
person or character it's called like the adversary, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
Adversary. Yeah, that's the beast or thing that was trapping them in the end or whatever, and apparently it feasts on like misery or Storm's misery or something like
So yeah.
that. Yeah, so it was just random. So,
Um, but
what
yeah,
else?
so if they made that a full episode, we could have seen that a little bit more and see what happens there. But now we're gonna, I'm guessing but I don't even think it's gonna happen in the next episode. I think they're gonna probably like go back to it like in like 2 episodes time or something. So it's just like, can you
Yeah,
just focus more on that, rather than the Jubilee bit? And also, I feel like they're very focused on like love stories for some reason. I don't know,
yeah.
because they made Forge and Storm have a thing. I'm like, was that really necessary? Like, I don't know. It's just like she just wants her powers back. Just let her get her powers back, and then we can move on.
I know. Because I can't really. The thing is, yeah, like Storm being Storm, like she's one of the most popular X Men characters. So the fact
Hmm.
that they took away her powers so early on in the season, like episode
Yeah.
two, and she's already
Hmm.
out of commission is just like crazy because she's one of their big hitters. So
Hmm.
without them, then kind of the team's kind of weakened. And also, I feel like no one's made an attempt to like try and find her, or like I feel a bit like you've been with these lot for so long. Because they're this tight to them, they just all let
I
you
know.
go. Even Jean, Madame was like, what do you call it, crying, and they abandoned her or abandoned her. Like, I was thinking, not even you could use Cerebro to go and find her or see where she is, like to bring her back
But
or to
then
try.
Jean was the only one that mentioned her though, because at the beginning she was like, "Oh, Storm would have believed
Storm
me."
was, yeah, Storm was
Yeah.
sexual been yeah, it's true. So there's that as well. I wonder what Storm would have thought about the whole Madeline and Jean thing, or who she would have like sided with. Because yeah, I don't know, it's a bit crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it started off really good. X Men. I think the first 2 episodes were really good. Then episode three, as you said, I found it quite dry as well. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. And then episode four, I just couldn't like even stand Julie bit. I was just watching it because it was on. And then obviously the end part was a bit more interesting. But yeah, um, apparently episode five synopsis is about something about Genosha and hold on. I believe it says something about Rogan Gambit going to Genosha or something, and they meet Nightcrawler. So we'll get a potential feature of Nightcrawler, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Um, yeah, apparently Rogue's put in danger. So this is some synopsis, apparently, the little episode description. Rogue's apparently put in danger, but Gambit saves her, but gives her an ultimatum. So we can see more relationship stuff coming from that little
God.
mention. Yeah, it's gonna be like shoot me or Magneto
Uh,
Mozambique or whatever he'll say. Sorry, or whatever he says. So
Shorty.
yeah,
Yeah, I think my only gripe with episode 3 and 4 is I just want a bit more action. I think that's what made 2 so good, because
yeah, there
it's
was
like full.
mostly action.
That's what made the old X-Men, the old series, like that's what made me like it so much, because it was, even from the beginning, from the jump, it was like action, action, action. And
Literally,
I know we kind of do need like a calm moment in the series, but yeah, I don't want too many of them, because I think it's just going to make it drag along. But
yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do, because they've already been commissioned for, I think, up until like season 3 or 4 or something like that. So
Okay, so they
they've
can build up on that more.
they've got green lighted for the season. So I think they're trying to drag it out a little bit, which is
Yeah,
good for them. But then for us, I just want to get to the story. I just want to get back to it. But hopefully episode 5 will be a bit better. So yeah. I am
Yeah,
enjoying it.
I
I
think
am
it will
enjoying
be
it though.
based on some things. Yeah, same. Overall, yeah, I'm happy. Like the first episode, I was like super excited about. I was like, this is crazy, and I loved how like the references they were making. Episode 3, episode 4. I think 5 will bring us back to the original story and not side quests. So yeah, should be good.
Yep. Okay, guys, make sure you check out X-Men 97 on Disney Channel. And yeah, that brings us to the end of our rated watch list segment. We will speak at you again next week, I guess, for episode 5. Actually, maybe not next week. Maybe the week after for episode 5 and 6. No, actually, wait, when does it come out? Wednesday. Yeah, so 5 and 6 next week.
Yeah.
I got confused.
I was like, what day? Yeah, I never know.
Cool. Anyway, see you later, guys.
Yeah, see ya.
Peace.